My friends, we are standing at the edge of a powerful turning point. 2026 is not just another year, it is a divine gateway. Each soul here is a co-creator with infinite intelligence and life. Yes, your life is a canvas of possibilities awaiting your conscious command. Now is the appointed time to prepare your inner and outer world, for what you do between now and 2026 shall echo beyond mere time. It will ripple into your destiny. Do not look at circumstances. Do not let appearances fool you. The world may tremble with change, but you are not ruled by the external. You are ruled by the word you speak, the thoughts you entertain, the steps you take in perfect faith. And so, before 2026 dawns like a golden sunrise, there are 6 sacred actions, 6 alignments of your path that must be done, not out of fear, but from the radiant knowing that your good is already prepared, waiting for your readiness. First, you must clear the clutter, mentally, spiritually, physically. The law does not rush to a crowded mind or a heavy heart. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? A belief, a burden, a fear dressed as logic. Let it go. Cast it into the sea of forgetfulness and make room. Room for miracles, for right people, right situations, divine order. Second, speak the word. Affirm what is already yours by divine right. I walk in success. I live in peace. Doors open before me, wide and free. Say it with authority. Say it with expectancy. Your word is your wand, and what you decree shall come to pass, if you believe without wavering. Third, you must listen. Truly listen. Not just with ears, but with the heart. The still small voice has instructions. It whispers the next step. And if you are too noisy inside, you will miss it. Get quiet. Be still. Trust the divine nudge that leads you from one perfect unfoldment to the next. Fourth, forgive deeply. Unforgiveness is a closed gate. The universe cannot deliver through a heart blocked by resentment. Let every debt go. Cancel it in full. You are not forgiving for them. You are freeing yourself for your blessing. Fifth, give. Give your time, your money, your kindness. The law of giving and receiving is exact. What you send forth shall multiply. When you withhold, you constrict. When you give with joy, you call an increase on every side. And sixth, you must decide, not wish, not hope, but decide. Decide you are ready. Decide to claim the life that belongs to you. The universe loves decisiveness. It responds with action, support, and divine timing once you boldly declare your choice. The time is not later, it is now. You have been prepared for this very hour. Clear the clutter, mind, spirit, and space. Clutter is more than physical mess. It is the stagnation of old energy, the accumulation of worn-out thoughts, emotions, and belongings that no longer reflect the truth of who you are. To move forward into the life you are destined to live, you must first release what no longer serves your highest good. Imagine your life as a sacred vessel meant to carry the treasures of health, joy, abundance, love, and peace. If that vessel is filled with broken fragments of the past, with fear disguised as responsibility, or with the stale air of indecision, there is no room for fresh blessing to enter. The mind is the first altar that must be cleansed. Every negative thought, every repeated worry, every limiting belief is like a weed growing in the fertile garden of your consciousness. These weeds choke the life out of possibility. If you think, I never have enough, then the law must obey, and not enough becomes your reality. If you think, it's too late for me, then time wraps around your words and delays your good. Thought is substance. It molds the unseen into form. So clearing the mental clutter is a spiritual act. It means catching yourself mid-thought and asking, is this in agreement with the life I desire? If it is not, it must go. Cancel it. Uproot it. Replace it with truth. I am divinely guided. I am abundantly supplied. I am on time for my good. Say it, believe it, and watch your mind begin to align with clarity. Spiritual clutter is subtle. It hides in our assumptions about the world, in unspoken judgments, in bitterness we've tucked away and told ourselves we've dealt with. It shows up in the echo of betrayal, in the scar tissue of disappointments long past. You may not even be aware it's there, but you'll know it by the way you feel when blessings come near. If you find yourself suspicious of good news, resistant to compliments, or uneasy when things flow too easily. It may be spiritual clutter at work. To release this, you must shine light upon it. Bring the emotion into awareness. Speak forgiveness, even if your voice shakes. Say, I release this pain, I bless it, and let it go. It has no more power in my life. The divine cannot pour new wine into an old wineskin. What you release creates room for truth to take root. Then there is the physical realm, often the most visible but least acknowledged form of clutter. Walk through your home and ask, does this reflect the life I am stepping into? Objects carry energy. The dress you keep but no longer wear, the drawer full of unspoken memories, the gifts that came with strings attached. Each one holds space in your environment, and by extension, in your consciousness. Cluttered surroundings often mirror internal chaos. You may say, I'm too busy to clean. But what if the mess is feeding the very overwhelm you wish to escape? Order is heaven's first law. A clean, intentional space allows divine ideas to flow freely. When you discard the unnecessary, you affirm that you are ready for something greater. Begin simply. One drawer, one shelf, one box of old letters. As you touch each item, ask yourself, is this in alignment with my future? If it carries joy, beauty, usefulness, or sacred memory, keep it. If it drags your energy down, reminds you of lack, or stirs regret, let it go. Trust that what you release will be replaced with what better serves your next chapter. Don't hoard from fear. Holding on, just in case, is often rooted in a belief that more won't come. But life is not stingy. The universe loves circulation. When you give away what no longer serves you, you signal to the infinite that you trust in ongoing supply. Clearing space is also about boundaries. Mental clutter thrives when we allow too many voices, too many opinions, too many demands to speak louder than our own inner guidance. Are you saying yes to things you should have released long ago? Are you clinging to outdated roles, obligations, or relationships that keep you tethered to a smaller version of yourself? These are forms of energetic clutter. Each agreement you keep out of guilt or fear drains your power. Your attention is your most sacred currency. Spend it wisely. Learn to say no with love, so that your yes becomes a sacred force. Digital clutter is a modern spiritual obstacle. Hundreds of unread emails, notifications, constant scrolls. These seem harmless, yet they flood the mind with distraction. Every time you check your phone out of habit, you are stepping away from your inner sanctuary. It creates noise, and noise keeps you from hearing divine instruction. You don't need to know everything. You need to know what matters now. Silence is not empty, it is full of answers. Turn off what doesn't nourish your spirit. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your focus. Clearing clutter is not about minimalism for its own sake. It is about creating sacred space, internally and externally, so that what is true, what is right, and what is divinely yours can enter without resistance. Imagine trying to receive a gift with full hands. You must first let something go, and that can be frightening. There is comfort in the familiar, even when it hurts. But do not be deceived by comfort. Growth requires change, and change demands space. The caterpillar cannot become the butterfly while clinging to its cocoon. Likewise, you cannot soar while dragging old baggage through the sky. Even memories can become clutter when we hold them with longing or pain. What was beautiful must be cherished, not clung to. What was painful must be blessed, not replayed. You are not your history. You are your possibility. But that possibility can only unfold when the soil of your being is cleared, tilled, and made ready for new planting. That's what clearing clutter does. It turns fallow ground into fertile promise. The harvest is coming. But first, you must make room. Speak the word with authority and faith. There is a power so ancient, so exact, that it was present before the foundations of the world. It is the power of the spoken word. When you speak, you are not merely vibrating air through your throat, you are casting seeds into the field of the invisible. Every word is a decree. Every sentence a law passed into motion. The universe listens without judgment and responds with mathematical precision. To speak with authority and faith is to stand in your rightful dominion. to claim what is yours by divine inheritance, and to command substance into form. Most people speak carelessly, unaware that their words are spells, proclamations charged with creative force. They say, "I'm always tired," and their body obeys. They say, "Nothing ever works out for me," and circumstances bend to match. The law is not cruel. It is simply just. It does not hear what you mean, it hears what you say. Words are vehicles. They carry the vibration of your belief and deposit it into the invisible substance that surrounds you. When you speak with fear, you draw more fear. When you speak with faith, you summon light. To speak with authority is not to shout or to beg. Authority is quiet, certain, rooted in the knowing that the power within you is not personal but universal. It is the divine expressing through you. When a gardener plants a seed, she does not scream at the soil to produce. She knows that the soil will do what it is designed to do. So she plants, waters, and expects. In the same way, your words must be planted with calm certainty. Speak and then believe that the law is already at work. You need not push. You need only to align. Faith is the soil in which your word takes root. Authority is the energy that carries it forward. If you speak without faith, your words fall flat, they are empty echoes. But when you speak from a place of inner conviction, even if outer appearances suggest otherwise, the universe begins to shift. The invisible is always working before the visible catches up. You might say, "But I don't feel confident." That is not required. What is required is that you speak as if the good you desire is already here. Speak as if the doors are already open, the path already cleared, the way already made. And they will be. To speak the word, you must first know what to speak. You must choose your words deliberately, as you would choose seeds for a sacred harvest. Do not say what you fear. Say what you know by divine law. Instead of saying, "I'm worried about money," speak the truth. My supply is infinite. Prosperity flows to me through expected and unexpected channels. Instead of saying, "I'm sick," speak, "Every cell in my body is radiant with divine health." These are not affirmations meant to sugarcoat reality. These are declarations meant to reshape reality. You are not ignoring facts, you are activating truth. There is no neutral word. Every sentence either builds or destroys. Every phrase either opens a way or blocks it. Think of how many times you have cursed your own path unknowingly by saying things like, "That'll never happen for me," or "I don't deserve that," or things like that only happen to lucky people. These are not innocent statements. They are laws you have set into motion. But the moment you become conscious of your word, you can reverse the tide. You can say, "I cancel that. I now speak truth. I am worthy. I am chosen. I am favored. I am ready." And the law listens. It always listens. Speaking the word must become a habit, not an occasional remedy. Just as you feed your body daily, you must feed your life with spoken truth. Begin the day with declaration. This is a day of divine order. Everything unfolds for my highest good. I am guided, protected, and provided for. Say it before your mind has a chance to offer doubt. Say it until it becomes the inner soundtrack of your being. You are not just trying to convince yourself. You are aligning yourself with spiritual reality. Your soul recognizes truth. When you speak it, something inside you stands up straighter, walks taller, begins to remember. You must also speak into the silence. There will be days when nothing appears to be changing. The outer world will still look the same, but that is the test. Do you speak the word only when results are visible? Or do you speak because you know the law is working beneath the surface? A farmer does not dig up the seed every day to check if it's growing. She trusts, she waters, she waits. You too must speak. And then walk in faith that what you have spoken is already manifesting in ways unseen. There is also great power in speaking aloud rather than silently. The vibration of your voice carries intention into the atmosphere. Your words become a frequency that rearranges energy. When you say, "I expect miracles," you are not just hoping, you are inviting divine activity. When you say, "I am loved and supported," you are commanding the universe to reflect that truth back to you. Speak into your home, into your body, into your finances, into your relationships. Bless them all with the word. Say, peace lives here, harmony reigns here, wealth dwells here. What you bless, blesses you in return. Guard your tongue from idle complaints and casual negativity. These are the termites of creation, small but destructive. Even jokes made in sarcasm have power. The subconscious mind does not distinguish humor. It accepts everything as instruction. Speak only what you desire to experience. And if you catch yourself speaking lack, stop. Correct it immediately. Say, that is not my truth. My truth is abundance. My truth is love. My truth is alignment. Repetition rewires reality. Every time you speak the word, you build a new pattern in the fabric of your life. You are not waiting for something outside of you to give permission. You already have the authority. You were born with it. The divine lives within you, not above you. You are the mouthpiece of infinite power. And when you speak with faith, when you speak with clarity, when you speak with expectation, the mountains move. Not by force, but by divine law. What you speak consistently, with conviction, must appear in form. That is the mystery, and that is the miracle. Listen to inner guidance in stillness. Within every individual is a sacred voice, quiet yet powerful. Ever present yet easily drowned by the noise of the outer world. It is the still small voice, the divine whisper that never shouts, never forces, but always knows. This inner guidance does not speak in chaos. It does not compete with fear, doubt, or frenzy. To hear it, you must become still. Not just physically still, but spiritually receptive. You must retreat from the loudness of opinions, the clamor of obligations, the constant hum of mental chatter, and enter that sacred space where only truth resides. This world teaches noise. It praises business, idolizes productivity, rewards speed. But spiritual direction does not dwell in haste. It cannot be accessed through endless striving. It comes in moments of surrender, in breaths of silence, in the quiet corners of your consciousness, where divine wisdom has always been waiting. Stillness is not inaction, it is powerful alignment. When you become still, you attune to a frequency higher than logic, deeper than emotion, more accurate than intellect. The guidance you receive is not random. It is precise, tailored to your path, echoing with the vibration of your highest good. Many people say they cannot hear guidance, but the truth is not that guidance is absent. It is that distractions are too loud. You cannot hear the orchestra of heaven when your inner world is filled with static. Worry, overthinking, and constant doing clog the channel. It is like trying to catch a whisper while standing in a storm. The answer is there. The direction is ready. The instruction has already been issued, but it requires your attention. To listen, you must stop. You must pause and turn inward. The world outside will keep spinning, but the world within becomes your compass. Stillness is a discipline. It is the daily returning to your center. It is the decision to carve out space, whether 5 minutes or 50, not just to pray or ask, but to listen. There is a divine conversation always underway. Life speaks through signs, through feelings, through synchronicities, through sudden knowings. But if you are constantly racing, constantly analyzing, constantly reacting, you will miss it. Guidance does not chase you. It waits for you to become available. And the more you practice stillness, the more fluent you become in the language of spirit. You may expect the voice of guidance to come dramatically, but often it arrives softly. A subtle nudge, a gentle thought, a sense of peace pointing in one direction and restlessness pointing away from another. Do not dismiss it. The divine rarely interrupts, it invites. If something feels expansive, if it brings calm clarity even when it challenges your comfort, that is likely your direction. If something feels forced, chaotic, contracted, that is not your way. You do not have to understand the entire path. You only have to honor the next right step, and the next will appear. The mind loves to solve. It wants clarity, answers, guarantees. But guidance does not always explain. It speaks to the heart, not the ego. It asks for trust, not analysis. That is why stillness is essential. It bypasses the intellect and connects you to truth without noise. You cannot think your way into divine timing. You must listen your way into it. You must allow the pause to become fertile ground. That is where revelation happens, not in motion, but in the sacred hush between your questions and the answer's arrival. Create rituals of stillness. Not rituals of routine, but of reverence. Light a candle, sit in silence, walk in nature, journal without agenda, breathe. These are not idle acts, they are portals. They quiet the surface so the depths can speak. Each practice becomes a doorway to intuition. The more you listen, the more you are led. The more you are led, the more you realize you were never alone. There has always been a wisdom inside you, older than time, that knows the way forward. There is also a courage required in listening, because once you hear the voice of guidance, you can no longer pretend not to know. You can no longer claim confusion as an excuse. The moment you receive direction, you are called to act, or to acknowledge your resistance. That is why many avoid stillness. Not because they don't value it, but because deep down they fear what they might hear. The instruction might ask them to let go, to change, to move on, to speak up. But what is asked of you is never to harm you. It is to lead you into alignment. The divine does not withhold. It only waits for your readiness. You may wonder how to tell the difference between true guidance and the voice of fear or desire. The voice of spirit is consistent. It is firm but never anxious. It offers clarity, not confusion. It may challenge your ego, but it will never diminish your soul. Fear is loud, urgent, reactive. Guidance is steady, calm, and enduring. It repeats itself quietly, gently pushing you toward your highest good. It feels like home, even when it stretches you. That is how you will know. As you develop this inner listening, you become less swayed by outer voices. You no longer require constant validation. You begin to walk with a quiet confidence, because your direction comes from within. The world may not understand, but you will know. And that knowing becomes your anchor. When storms come, when decisions arise, when uncertainty clouds your mind, you return to the still place, and you listen. Again and again, until it becomes the most natural thing in the world, until silence is not empty but full, until stillness is not absence but presence. Forgive fully to unlock flow. Forgiveness is not merely a moral act or a gesture of politeness. It is a spiritual law that governs freedom. When you hold on to resentment, bitterness, guilt, or blame, you are not punishing another. You are binding yourself. The energy of unforgiveness is dense, sticky, and stagnant. It clogs the flow of divine substance. It blocks your blessings, not because the universe is punishing you, but because you are energetically closed. Forgiveness is the key that opens the floodgates of your good. It is not optional, it is essential. Many believe forgiveness is about letting someone else off the hook, but it is really about unhooking yourself from the past. When you carry anger, you carry a vibration that pulls more of the same into your experience. The law of attraction does not differentiate between justified pain and unjustified. It only responds to frequency. If you are vibrating with the energy of betrayal, you will attract more situations that echo that betrayal. If you are vibrating with victimhood, you will continue to feel small and unseen. Forgiveness clears the slate. It resets the vibration. It lifts you to the level where healing, love, and abundance can reach you. To forgive fully is to release completely. Partial forgiveness is still bondage. Saying, "I forgive, but I won't forget," is a disguised form of attachment. It says, "I still need to protect myself from what has already passed." But protection is not peace. True forgiveness says, that chapter is closed. I no longer carry its energy. I no longer identify with that pain. And this doesn't mean what happened was right. It means you are no longer willing to let what happened define who you are now. You do not need to condone the behavior. You only need to stop feeding it with your focus. Sometimes the one who most needs your forgiveness is yourself. Self-forgiveness is one of the highest forms of spiritual maturity. To look at your past mistakes, choices, failures, and say, "I did the best I could with what I knew at the time." That is powerful. Shame is a low vibration. It keeps you locked in repetition. You punish yourself and repeat the same cycles again and again. But when you forgive yourself, you rise. You say, I have learned. I have grown. I am no longer that version of me. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are a divine being, evolving moment by moment. Forgiveness is not an emotion, it is a decision. You may not feel ready, but you can still choose to release. Feelings will follow faith. Say the words, I forgive this, I release this, I cancel this debt in full. Even if your heart still aches, your soul hears the decree. You don't wait until the pain is gone to forgive. You forgive to dissolve the pain. The moment you truly decide to release, the energy begins to shift. You may not notice it immediately, but something deep within starts to unwind. Forgiveness is also a form of trust. You trust that divine justice is always at work. You trust that life has a perfect balance, even if you cannot see it. When you forgive, you are saying, I give this to a higher power. I no longer carry the weight of judgment. You move out of the courtroom and into the temple. You stop rehearsing the wound and start reclaiming your power. Justice belongs to the divine. Peace belongs to you. And peace is worth more than being right. There is a quiet miracle that happens when you forgive. It creates space. Space in your heart, space in your energy, space in your life. And into that space, new relationships, new opportunities, new healing can enter. Holding a grudge takes up spiritual real estate. When you let it go, you make room for grace. Your blessings may have been circling you for months, years even, waiting for you to open. Forgiveness is the opening. It is the sacred unclenching of the fists, the surrender of the burden, the unclogging of the river. Some wounds feel too deep, too complex, too repeated to forgive easily. This is where spiritual maturity is tested. Can you forgive what was never apologized for? Can you release someone who never made amends? You can, because your healing does not depend on their awareness. It depends on your willingness. Do not wait for others to change or acknowledge or repent. Your peace is not their responsibility. It is yours. Even if they are still in your life, still behaving the same, you can forgive inwardly. You can release yourself from the emotional entanglement, even if nothing changes outwardly. Forgiveness does not mean you have to keep toxic people in your life. Releasing the hurt does not require you to invite more of it. You can set boundaries with love. You can walk away with peace. You can say, I wish you well. I bless you on your journey, and I no longer choose to walk beside you. That too is forgiveness. It is not coldness. It is clarity. It is choosing your healing over your history. It is honoring your worth without carrying resentment. Sometimes, the forgiveness that's needed is toward something abstract. Life itself, time lost, dreams deferred, seasons missed. You may need to forgive the delay, the illness, the breakup, the ending. You may need to forgive God, not because the divine has failed you, but because your heart does not understand why things happened as they did. That's okay. You can speak your grief. You can say, I forgive this season. I let go of the pain it brought. I choose to see the lesson. I choose to open my heart again. Life is not cruel, but it is a teacher, and every hurt carries within it the seed of transformation. Forgiveness is a spiritual solvent. It dissolves invisible walls. It softens what has been hardened. It realigns you with divine flow. It brings breath back to places that were held tight. It turns wounds into wisdom, pain into compassion, and memory into neutrality. It takes the heat out of the story and leaves only clarity. It returns you to yourself, not the version shaped by hurt, but the one formed by truth. When you forgive, you take back your authority. You stop letting the past dictate your present. You reclaim your energy, your voice, your joy. You show the universe that you are ready. Ready to move forward, ready to receive, ready to live from wholeness rather than reaction. Forgiveness is not always easy, but it is always freeing. It is not a gift you give to another. It is a gift you give to your own spirit. Decide boldly and claim your good. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when hesitation must end. A moment when you stop circling the mountain. Stop weighing every angle, stop waiting for the perfect sign, and simply decide. Decision is not just a mental act, it is a spiritual commitment. a declaration to the universe that you are ready to align with your highest good. Until you decide, you are drifting. You are entertaining possibilities but not anchoring power. The divine flow responds not to wishful thinking, but to clear, unwavering direction. Your indecision is a closed gate. Your bold decision is the key that opens it. You may think you are waiting on clarity, timing, or resources, but in truth, those things are often waiting on you. When you decide with authority, you activate unseen forces. Energy begins to rearrange itself. People, opportunities, ideas, and provisions start to move toward you. Not because you forced them, but because you chose. You became magnetic through certainty. Life mirrors back your intention. If your intention is murky, your results will be too. If your direction is divided, so will your path be. But when you speak with inner knowing, this is mine, I choose this, I am ready, the way becomes clear. To decide boldly, you must first give yourself permission to want. Many have buried their desires under layers of fear, guilt, conditioning, or disappointment. They've learned to mistrust their own hearts, but desire is not weakness, it is divine signal. What calls to you calls from within you. Your dream is not random, it is a sacred blueprint, planted by infinite intelligence, designed to guide you toward your fullest expression. But a blueprint is useless unless you choose to build. Decision is the act of picking up your tools and saying, let it begin. The energy of boldness is not arrogance. It is alignment. It comes not from ego, but from the inner knowing that you are backed by something greater. You were not sent here to shrink. You were sent here to expand, to embody truth, to walk in abundance, to be a living example of what is possible when divine will and human choice meet. Playing small does not honor the source that created you. Doubting yourself does not make you humble. It makes you unavailable to the fullness of your own potential. Boldness is not shouting or striving. It is the quiet power that says, I trust what I carry. Decision requires courage because it ends comfort. It calls you out of familiar patterns, out of delayed dreams, out of the safe middle. When you decide boldly, you step into responsibility. You can no longer hide behind someday. You can no longer blame circumstances. You must show up. That is the beauty and the challenge. Because in showing up, you discover who you really are. Not the version others expect. Not the version shaped by fear, but the version born of truth. Decision shapes identity. Each choice chisels away what is false and reveals what is real. You do not need all the answers to decide. You only need to decide that you will move, and the answers will begin to meet you along the way. This is the paradox of faith. You don't get certainty first, you create it by walking. Standing still will never give you the experience your soul came for. It is in motion, in risk, in forward energy that the magic unfolds. Waiting for perfect alignment before acting is like waiting for the tide to freeze. Life is fluid. You must move with it. You must become a participant, not just an observer. Deciding boldly also means choosing from desire, not fear. Fear-based decisions come from scarcity, from trying to avoid pain, from settling for what feels safe. They often lead to cycles of frustration because they are rooted in contraction. But soul-based decisions come from expansion. They ask, what do I truly want? Not what can I tolerate? They move you toward light, not away from darkness. They may stretch you, but they will never diminish you. When you choose from desire, you align with joy, and joy is a compass that never misleads. Many delay decision because they fear making the wrong one. But in spiritual law, no decision is wasted. Every choice leads to revelation. Even if you must course correct, even if detours arise, you are always being refined, guided, prepared. The only real failure is choosing nothing. Because indecision is a decision. It is a decision to remain in pause, to reject growth, to stay on the sidelines of your own becoming. The universe cannot deliver to a soul that won't place an order. Declare what you desire. Speak it. Claim it. Let your energy say, this is mine now. Acclaiming your good is an act of radical worthiness. It is saying, I no longer wait to be chosen. I choose myself. You are not asking life to give you permission. You are affirming that you are already qualified. You are already enough. What you desire is not too big. Your dreams are not too much. They are evidence of what you are meant to embody. When you claim your good, you stop negotiating with fear. You stop explaining your desires. You walk as if the door is already open, and in doing so, you open it. To decide and claim is to take up space. It is to show up fully, unapologetically, without shrinking or performing. It is to know that your very presence is purposeful. You do not have to convince anyone of your readiness. You do not have to prove your worth. The divine has already approved you. Your role is to receive that truth and live accordingly. Decision is the sacred yes. The yes to growth, to purpose, to power, to presence. It is the line in the sand where you stop rehearsing your limitations and start embodying your liberation. You may be surrounded by voices telling you to wait, to be cautious, to be realistic. But you must choose whose voice you will honor. The voice of the crowd or the voice of your calling. Realism has never created miracles. Playing it safe has never birthed transformation. The path to greatness is rarely obvious, but it becomes visible to those who walk with boldness. You are not made to follow shadows. You are made to cast light. Your decision to shine is what ignites the fire of purpose. When you decide boldly, you not only change your own life, you become a catalyst. You show others what is possible. You inspire movement by modeling courage. You create a ripple in the field of human potential. Decision is contagious. Your yes gives permission to those who have been silently waiting for a sign that they too can say yes. Your claiming opens the way for others to claim. Your choice to rise helps the whole field rise with you. Let your decision be loud in energy, even if it is quiet in words. Let it be felt in your posture, your actions, your prayers, your presence. Decide, not with pressure, but with peace. Not with force, but with faith. Decide that you are no longer postponing your power. Decide that what you desire is already yours in spirit, and you are now walking into its form. Decide with the boldness of one who remembers who they truly are. Decide with the certainty of one whose good is already prepared. Decide, and so it is.